Welcome to Board Game Empire. We're going to be showing you an overview and review of Tapestry by Stonemaier Games. So this is a civilization game where you're basically trying to create your own civilization by advancing on these tracks. There's the technology, exploration, science, and military tracks. You gain rewards as you move up on those tracks. You're also trying to build technology over here, and you're creating your civilization. I don't know if they can see all of this.
They can see that.
By placing landmarks inside of your civilization. And you can't see, this game is a big table hog, but this is your player mat where you store the buildings you've not built yet and track your resources. And it's where you track your eras. The game is played over 5 rounds, and you'll have 4 different eras cards, your tapestry cards, which are these green ones, that you'll be placing on your player board that to tell you what era you're in. Players can be in different eras at different times. It's kind of somewhat of you. There's a little bit of interaction between the players, but not much. You're really on your own path. The only interaction you have is when they kind of get, I guess, in your way a little bit, or if you wanted to conquer them, but we never conquered each other. And then, of course, you have your choice of,
civilizations?
That's the civilization map. This is the capital city, the one with the landmark buildings. I got them wrong. And then there's quite a few of the civilizations that you could choose from, and some of them have abilities that happen during the income phase. The ones we saw, they happen mostly during the income phase from what we could see. Some of them have some are better than others. Like I played the Merrymakers, and they give you benefits during your income phase from the second era on, so you can gain extra bonuses. And there's so many, I can't even name all of them. But it's basically you're just basically trying to build your civilization through advancing on these tracks, like I said, advancing your technology, and trying to put landmarks in your, I can't remember what that's called, capital city map.
So there's 26 civilizations to choose from.
So there was a lot to choose from. And it took about an hour and 20 minutes to play the game, probably.
Oh, that was so late.
But Anthony finished before me, so you will have players that finish earlier than others. I spent more time on the tracks and exploring, and I was able to gain resources, so I was able to go a little longer without having to take an income phase, because if you take your income phases too soon, then you're progressing, you're making it shorter, which is less time for you to get as far on these tracks and things, because a big part of the game is getting as far as you can, because you collect more rewards, you're going to advance more in exploration, you're going to get more buildings in your capital city, and you're going to get more technologies that you advance, and all of that leads to more victory points. And of course, the person who has the most victory points at the end wins the game. So in a nutshell, there's a lot to this game. So in a nutshell, that's what the game's all about. I will say I was very shocked at the rule book, how it was kind of short. I was really shocked for a Stonemaier game. It was only 4 pages, and his rule books are normally amazing. So I think, didn't you say this is one of his first games?
Yeah.
So that's probably why the rule book was not up to what his normal standards are on his rule books. We had to watch a video and print off a helpful aid from BGG to really figure out how to play this game, to be honest. And it's not a hard game, it just wasn't explained well in the rule book. So we had to go a little extra to figure it out. But once we got it figured out, it's a really fun game, and we really enjoyed it. It's a really good game. So if you do end up purchasing this game, just be prepared to go a little outside of the rule book to figure out, look, we watch watch it played. He does a really good job of explaining the game. And of course on BGG, there's really good player aids.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, that people printed out, obviously, to fix that issue. So what did you think of the game?
I really did like the game. I think that the mechanics is a little bit solitaire. There's very little interaction or take that or mitigation that you could do. There is a lot of point salad type aspects to the game that you can because you could go through the technology, science, exploration, and military, and pretty much as you advance each one, you get to do more things. You collect stuff. There's also a market for the technology or the what's it called? The cards there.
Technology cards.
And then there's also kind of like a tile placement, but more like a city area, which is your capital city, which you'll be pinning your buildings in like a grid or something. But the game does feel very solitaire, which for this type of game I really like because we like point salad games, so this is one of those type of point salad games that we'll enjoy. The component quality is phenomenal. This is like better than any Kickstarter I've seen because the buildings are actually painted. They're not just great blobs. The dice are really nice. Like this is Kickstarter quality game. And we play a lot. We backed a lot of Kickstarters. I would say that this is actually better than almost all of them that we've received. The board is nice and thick. It's double-sided. It's not dual layered. That's the only issue. I wish it was a little dual layer, but of course that would cost more because it's double-sided to pretty much work for different player counts. But for me, I would give this like a 9 out of 10. I think that the rules could be better explained. There are some cards or certain civilizations that it didn't dive deep into it, and so it had a lot of interpretation. So you would have to email the Stonemaier or look on BGG to see what it entails, some of the information, because it does cover it, but doesn't cover enough because it leaves question. And I think that could be cleared out with a better rule book, a longer one. But overall, I really enjoy this game. I think it has high replayability. There's 3 expansions. Can't wait to play those. And there's this. I don't think she covered it. Mm-mm. This is the buildings that you'll be able to obtain as you go through the actual.
Plus, there's a lot more than that. There's
more over here, but once you go through each like science exploration, you'll be able to obtain the buildings and indicated in the circles. And like she said, once you're done with your turn or several turns, when you do income, it pretty much activates the different eras. And then once you get to like 4 or 5, game ends. So very simple game. I really enjoyed it. I think that as time goes on, this might actually go higher. Right now, Wingspan is my favorite out of the Stonemaier games. This is second. So, and I don't know, it might flip-flop as time progresses and we play more expansions. So what did you think?
I really enjoyed this game. After we got past a little bit of frustration of learning it, and it wasn't that frustrating, but it was confusing because it was some things we just didn't really understand, and seeing it on video really helped, and having that awesome player aid that he printed off BGG helped a lot, especially during the income phase, because there's a lot that you do during that income phase, and that was a little confusing in the rule book. But other than that, like, it's a phenomenal game. Like, these buildings are just amazing. And all of them there's a lot of them. I don't know how many buildings they are, but there's a lot of them that you can acquire. And of course, you've got the markets and farms and armories and the houses. These are actually also really cool. Those are the ones on your player mat that you can obtain. And when you obtain those, of course, there's rewards underneath them that you get during the income phase. So it doesn't feel repetitive, even though you are doing the same things over and over. It doesn't feel repetitive because your rewards and things are always progressing, and you're getting more of them each era if you do it right. I mean, you have to constantly be focusing on obtaining the buildings off your player mat for that to happen. And of course, building technology, because technology gives you more rewards and more victory points if you've unlocked a lot of those off your player mat. And then, of course, it's very important to get as many resources as you can, because it costs resources to keep advancing on these tracks and to get some of the bonuses. So that's the biggest strategic balancing part of this game, is maintaining resources while trying to stay as long as you can before you take that next income phase, because you're going to benefit more on your income phases if you wait as long as you can and get as many things unlocked before you do that, because you only get 4 that you're actually getting the rewards. On your 5th era, basically all you're getting is victory points. You're not getting any of the rewards because you're done. At the end of your 5th era income phase, you're done, and you're just going to sit and wait for the other players to finish their 5th era. And that's another good thing about this game, is it doesn't end when someone completes their 5th era. Everyone gets to finish out the game completely and with all the eras. And so you're going at different paces throughout the game. Even though you are playing together, you are on your own pace. So it's and then, like you said, the components are amazing. Even the cards are really nice and thick. But you'll be dealing a lot with the Tapestry cards and the technology cards. You get those every round. You're going to be obtaining those, and of course, we never played with the space tiles. Those are just extra benefits that go beside your income mat if you actually get them. Neither of us got far enough on the exploration track to get to those. But we did, me more than him. I explored a lot. You're going to get a lot of these territory tiles, and you get to choose which ones you put on the board, and you automatically gain the reward that's pictured in the middle, and you get victory points if the sides match up with the terrain. So there's a lot of little ways to gain points, victory points in this game, which makes it a lot of fun. So I give this game a 9. It would be a 10 for me if I didn't have to struggle so much to figure it out. But I'm thinking with the expansions, well, it might be a little higher, because I know his expansions are always, from the games I've played of his, always improve the games, because he puts a lot of thought into his games, and he would have did the expansions at a later date than this one. So I'm sure he probably fixed some of the things that people were talking about on this game that they didn't care for. I'm sure he helped fix some of that in some of the expansions as well. So definitely a great game. This one will be a classic that people will have in their collection for many years, I'm sure. I mean, we wouldn't get rid of this game. No. We love this game. It is a long one, and it is a table hog, but to me, it's worth it, and it's just a beautiful game. And we had a blast playing it. So we will put the link in the description so you can check it out for yourself. Hopefully this video helped you to decide whether this is a game you would like to put in your collection. We will... Again, put the link in the description. Please give it a like. Feel free to leave any comments. If you're not already, we hope you'll subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time.